Hare Krishna. Reading from Bhagavad Gita as it is. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Reading from chapter number 2, contents of the Gita summarized, verse number 35. In verse number 35, 36 and 37, we find that Krishna is trying to coax Arjuna to fight on the basis of what Arjuna had previously said, that he was afraid of the sins in case he kills these people. So here Krishna is saying, you will get sin if you run away from battle, not by fighting the battle. That is a difference. You're a Kshatriya and you have to fight. That is your Swadharma. If you decide to not fight, then that will be a sin. And also Krishna kind of tells Arjuna of the repercussions of not fighting by saying that all those people who kept you in high regard, who praised you, is now going to mock you. They will say you ran away from battle because of fear. So we are at verse number 35. Bhayad ranad uparatam mamsyante tvam maharata yesham cha tvam bahumato bhutva yasyasi laghavam. The great generals who have highly esteemed your name, your fame, will think that you left the battlefield out of fear only, and thus they will consider you insignificant. Purport. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Lord Krishna continued to give his verdict to Arjuna, quote, do not think that the great generals like Duryodhana, Karna and other contemporaries will think that you left the battlefield out of compassion for your brothers and grandfather. They will think that you have left out of fear for your life, and thus their high estimation of your personality will go to hell, unquote. See, Arjuna wanted to not fight because he was soft-hearted and he had great compassion for everybody. However, the people on the other side, where they were not devotees of the Lord, they were not soft-hearted, they were in fact rather mean people. And these people are not going to look at the positive side of things. They are going to mock you and say that you're a coward and you just ran away from your duty. See, that's what happens. What you look or what you observe is your own perception. Your own perception is put on the things. So it is said, there's a proverb that says, when a thief looks at a saint, he will look at his pocket. You see, even if a saint is in front of you, if your mind is bad, you will pick the bad things out of that person. So Arjuna, though he was very magnanimous and he decided to leave the battle out of his magnanimity, his enemies will not look at it that way because they don't like him. So they are going to pick out the worst reason for Arjuna not fighting. Text number 36. Avachya vadamscha bahun vadishyanti tavahita nindantastava samarthyam tato dukkha taram nukim. Your enemies will describe you in many unkind words and scorn your ability. What could be more painful for you? Purport. Lord Krishna was astonished in the beginning at Arjuna's uncalled for plea for compassion, and he described his compassion as befitting the non-Aryans. Now in so many words he has proved his statements against Arjuna's so-called compassion. So Krishna continues to chastise Arjuna, and he is giving a different argument here. He says that your enemies will scorn you, they will mock at you, and all your reputation will be thrown out of the window. See, Kshatriyas had they gave a great deal of importance to honor. Honor was very important for them, more than their own life. So if they felt they have been dishonored, they either choose to kill the person who dishonored them, or they choose to die in the process of trying. So we hear stories in Japan of samurai warriors who also were trained to consider the honor topmost. So similarly, the Kshatriyas, they used to take offenses at very small things. So honor was very important for a Kshatriya, and therefore dishonor is worse than death. So in other words, Krishna is saying you better fight and die than live with such a big dishonor. Text number 37. Hato va prapsyasi swargam jitva va bhokshyase mahim tasmad uttishta kaunteya yuddhaya krita nischaya. O son of Kunti, either you will be killed in the battlefield and attain the heavenly planets, or you will conquer and enjoy the earthly kingdom. Therefore, get up with determination and fight. Purport. Even though there was no certainty of victory for Arjuna's side, he still had to fight. For even being killed there, he could be elevated into heavenly planets. So both options, either to fight and win the war or to fight and lose the war, were equally good for Arjuna. In either case, he will get to enjoy. So these verses number 31 to 37, chapter number 2, 31 to 37 is about Sakam Karma, or it can be said as Karma. Karma and Sakam Karma or Karma Kand. These three things are prescribed in the scriptures for those who want to enjoy, those who have the enjoying propensity. For them is this Sakam Karma / Karma / Karma Kand. They are all these three are same things, where the Vedas prescribe you to do this rituals to get this result. Sakam, with desire. Karma that is done with a desire for something. So you can fight a war with a desire to win the kingdom. That is Sakam. You can, and there's a prescribed method for doing that. It is not, it's not rejected. You are completely free to enjoy your senses. It is not, it's not rejected. Like in some other religions, sense enjoyment is rejected. But in our dharma, sense enjoyment is not rejected. If you are keen in enjoying yourself, there are rules for that. There are prescribed rules for that. And you follow the rule, you will get to enjoy. For example, if you want progeny, if you want sons, there's a Putra Kameshti Yajna. You follow the procedure, you do whatever has to be done. You have to propitiate certain demigods and you get the result. This is Sakam Karma. You want a beautiful wife, you have to do a prescribed yajna or mantra or pray to that particular god or goddess, you will get the result. You want some land, you want money, you want career, fame, whatever you want, there is a method of doing it. You do that, you will get the karma. But that is Sakam Karma. It is not Nishkam Karma. We will come to that later. But Sakam Karma binds you to the material world. It doesn't liberate you. It gives you immediate results. It gives you good results. But the flip side is that it binds you to the material world. It doesn't liberate you. So Krishna in verse 31 to 37 has elaborated on Sakam Karma or Karma for a Kshatriya, who was Arjuna was Kshatriya. So Arjuna is said, you just fight, you are following your dharma, sakam karma, you will get good result in either case, winning or losing, either case you are safe. So this was about sakam karma, and then we move on to nishkam karma. Up till now in second chapter, the first 10 verses were Arjuna's confusion. Verse number 11 to verse number 30 was Gyan Yoga or Sankhya Yoga, where Lord is giving the knowledge to Arjuna to discriminate between spirit and matter, soul and body. That was Gyan, that was Gyan Yoga or Sankhya Yoga. So verse number 31 to 37, Krishna talks about Sakam Karma. Now in the verse number 38 onwards, it will be Nishkam Karma. So in the second chapter, everything is given in a capsule form, in a short form, and then it will be elaborated further in the forthcoming chapters. So with that, I will close this video. Hope you understood something, benefited in some way. Please give a thumbs up if you like the video. Please feel free to share with your friends and family. And thank you so much for being there and for listening. See you next time. Till then, Hare Krishna. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.